Okay, great. That's great to hear. Perfect. Okay, thank you. Nice to have you as well. Let's go. Oh, we have Francis in the room. Perfect. Okay, let's go to Nadia. Nadia, hi. How are you?
Hi, fine, thank you. How are you, Diana?
I'm great. I'm doing great. It's just a lazy day, you know.
Yeah. Today I wake up at 10 o'clock. After that, I make the lunch for my family. Is breakfast at first. We made breakfast and we had breakfast. After that, I went to the kitchen. I did the washing up. After that, I helped Roa. Helped me today in the kitchen.
Wow.
we made the lunch.
Mhm.
Uh, and nothing else today. I did nothing. I was waiting for your
Oh, okay.
session.
Cool, cool. Nice to have you here. That's great that you are
Yeah,
all
thank
so
you.
eager. Thank you. Okay, great. Let's get to Francis. Francis, how are you? What did you do today? How was your day? Hello, Francis. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you well, but
Oh,
I'm brother Francis. Francis not here.
ah, you're the Francis brother. Okay, what's your
Yes.
name?
Okay, my name is Jidu.
Okay, very nice. If I still call you Francis, I'm sorry. That's because, I see the name Francis, so I just, call it out. Okay, and how are you? How
Hmm.
was your day today?
My day?
Mhm. How was your day? Like, was it relaxing? Was it a busy day? What did you do today?
Well, I wake up today. It is 6 o'clock, 6 a.m.
Hmm.
And I have a dish. Okay, and what my dish, and I went to work, and I came back at 2:30,
Hmm.
and then I have a dish, and I watch some news on TV, and spend some time with my members of my family, and then I went out to see one of my friends. He was in ill, and then I get back home.
Perfect. Okay. Okay, excellent
Mm.
pronunciation, I have to admit. Very nice pronunciation. Perfect.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you,
Excellent.
thank you so much. Oh, yeah, you're the first person that say my your accent is very good.
Okay,
Uh,
thank you.
and yeah,
Okay.
and this is first time for me to to be in a Zoom meetup, and I always supposed to join you, and I asked my brother Francis to let me in to the meeting before, but I couldn't make it. But I
Oh,
hope
okay.
next time to join you by myself by my account.
Okay, cool. The more the merrier. So, of course, you can always share the link with your friends and somebody else who is interested in the meeting.
Okay.
Okay, very nice. Thank you for having you. Thank you for coming to the class today. So, today's topic is a little bit different than the last time. So, the last time we did business kind of topic, stress management and stuff like that. So, today it's going to be more of a lecture with a discussion. So, I will just briefly go through my PPT, and if you have anything to ask, please raise a hand or type in the chat. And try to just focus all the questions for the end, okay? So let's put all the major questions for the end part, and then we can have a nice discussion as we typically do. For today, just a little bit of intro, what pronunciation basically is, and stuff like that. But briefly, the rules. Let's take a look at the rules, nothing too much. Find a quiet place for the listening parts, because pronunciation through singing, we're going to be listening to a couple of songs that I chose for this webinar. And just, I will keep you all on mute, so to, basically lower background noise from everybody. Just typically raise a hand if you want to ask anything, if something is not, clear or anything like that. And of course, let's just briefly dive into what exactly pronunciation is and what is the science that deals with pronunciation, and that is phonetics. So pronunciation is basically producing specific sounds, specific and significant, as it says here. It says significant because it has a typical role and particular role in a language. So what we typically pronounce in one language may not be the same as it is in the other, of course. So we have to be careful of the context of use. So as it is says here, and of course we have phonetics. Phonetics, as you can see on the right part, is basically the study or the science of how the speech is pronounced, how it is enunciated, and how it is produced. So with that said, we have different parts of phonetics, but why is this important it is, because if you're starting to learn a language, you have to be aware of the phonetic part of a language. Each language sounds differently. If I were starting to speak in my own native language, which is Croatian, it would probably sound to you like Russian because it's a Slavic language, so it has a little bit of different auditory sounds. So that said, pronunciation and phonetics, and how to practice your pronunciation, of course, you have to be aware of the four main factors. Muscle, as if you're doing, muscle ups or push-ups or anything with your body and exercising. That's how it is with your mouth, with your lips, with your tongue and your teeth, your whole head, and your voice. So how it is, you know, as if you're using the muscle, as if you are actually using a bicep or anything like that. It's a muscle. So pronunciation works as a muscle, and you should be working it out. The second factor would be your mind. Of course, nothing goes without, memorization and thinking and just, monitoring your own pronunciation, thinking, okay, maybe I did this wrong. How can I improve it? And so on. The third is, of course, meaning, as you can see, because different words have different meanings, and your memory, which actually is enabled through practice. So the more you practice, the better you become at pronunciation. So basically, it is how it is with anything else, as if you're riding a bike or learning how to drive a car. So enunciation and articulation are two important factors. Now, pronunciation is basically enunciation plus articulation, but it means that you have to be aware of the forming, the accurate forming of the sound. So it's not the same if I were to pronounce L and R. So of course it has a different, as you can see in the picture, it has different place and the position in your mouth. Of course, left and right. So you have to just now start with the sounds and make it bigger. Love, left, leave, and right, and something like that. Okay, basically you get what I mean. So it's not necessary to dive into any more examples. So that's it. On the other hand, what is most important with English and any other language that you're starting to learn, you have to be aware with the pronunciation and the chart, a phonetic chart. So for example, we have vowels and consonants, but we only have 5 vowels, but we have 25 vowel sounds. And we have also different consonant sounds, and then we combine them into diphthongs, etc., etc. So plenty of combinations, plenty of distinctive vowel and consonant sounds. So it's not the same if I say popular and bipolar. I typically use P and B, which are bilabials. We use both of our lips to pronounce them P and B, but it's different. So in that case, be very much aware of the differences. Of course, practice, nothing much. You can definitely Google it up. You can find plenty of useful practice on the YouTube as well. So just, you can knock yourself out with that. Of course, what I mentioned before, different positioning of your teeth, your mouth, your lips, and the sounds that come out. Of course, try to be aware again of the meanings and spellings, because spelling is typically different from the meaning and vice versa, or we can have the same spelling but totally different meaning of the word, like a can of Coke or a can as in I can. It's basically spelled with C-A-M, but it has a different meaning. In this case, he threw the ball, but the ball went through the basket. So it's through, basically pronounced the same, but different. Again, different word. One is a verb and the other is an adverb or preposition even. So in that case, try to be aware of, different spellings and meanings. In this case, what is the most popular thing nowadays would be connected speech. And I maybe tackled that a little bit in my previous webinars. I've mentioned it, but I haven't actually made some examples. Example would be this phrase here, I was just gonna say. So I was just gonna say. So it sounds really connected. It sounds really fluent, but it's basically just ignoring half of the sound and connecting similar ones. So you're actually just connecting similar sounds and bridging. You're making a bit of a bridge between the words. So it's not I was just going to say. It's not like you're enunciating every part of that sentence. You just connect it, fluently and nicely into one, basically one, like one breathing. I was just gonna say. And going, in this case, going to is shortened into a slang gonna, Gonna, and in that case, it sounds that much better and colloquial, conversational. In the next part, again, we have the definition of connected speech. It's nothing spectacular. So just as I mentioned now, basically, seeing how the phrases and words and the syllables can be bridged and, spoken efficiently, fluently, even a little bit melodically. It sounds a little bit like a melody in a way. In this case, as you can see, what exactly connected speech can be, it can be plenty of things. It can be 6 different things. It can be assimilation, and the green part here. It can be junction, contractions. So as I've said, going to is gonna, and maybe you can say, I don't know, instead of just I don't know. So you just connect it into I don't know. So as it is in the blue part on the top, elision. So you can also connect, with a somewhat of an intruder. In this case, intruder would be W, the sound W. I don't want it. I don't want it. Please do it. W. So it's like it's there, but it's not actually spelled, of course, because it's spelled please do it, but we pronounce it please do it because it just basically comes as a natural bridge between two different syllables and two different phonemes. So in that case, okay, I will not bother you with plenty of these, just so you know there are different parts, different uses of connected speech, contractions and linking, etc., etc. So of course, we do not say a cup of coffee because we have K and K sound again. We just say cup of coffee, cup of coffee, cup of coffee. It's of, O-F, but we pronounce it like schwa, a cup of. So again, just sound here, where do you live? Or where do you live? What do you do? Or something like that. But what is it about? What is it about? So connecting, because you have different syllables, different words in themselves, and you're just trying to connect everything to sound more naturally, to sound, efficiently. And as I've said plenty of times before, there are different, yes, exactly, stressed and unstressed syllables, exactly. So the stressed ones and the unstressed, those that can vibrate in your throat and those that don't vibrate. So of course, we have different categorizations of that. The more you know, the better you're going to become at pronouncing and enunciating. So in this case, we come to the most interesting part of today's topic, singing. How can singing improve your pronunciation? How it can benefit you as a speaker of a second language? Because English is second language to our soul, not just you, but to me as well. So in this case, we have a couple of different reasons, and I will just briefly, just give you an outline of these reasons and comment on them. The first one is build up your confidence. It makes you feel more confident even if you don't have much of that confidence. So you put yourself in the position of not exactly being Rowan, not exactly being Hadir, not exactly being Nadia or Diana. I'm not Diana when I speak English. I'm Diana number 2. I just pretend to be Diana, if you understand what I mean. I kind of act to be different Diana. So in that case, you just fake your confidence until you actually become confident while speaking English. So in this case, just singing it out loud, just, I don't know, whatever it is that you love singing. Is it Ed Sheeran? Is it Rihanna, Madonna, the 80s music? Doesn't matter as long as it's in English, of course. It has to be in English if you're learning English. So in that case, it builds your confidence. Second reason, this is one of my favorite singers from a death metal band, Gojira. It makes it easier for your emotions to come about, so to resurface, because your emotions, how you feel, is going to immediately connect, your emotions are going to immediately connect with your brain in a really intuitive kind of way. It's like gut-brain connection, something like that. So basically, your emotions tend to come come out easily, and thus you express yourself easily. So if you've heard of some phrases, and if you've heard a singer's emotion, singing and screaming like this guy is screaming, of course it's going to be easier to express your own self, your own thoughts. So be careful of that. Emotions are great as long as you can, control them in a way. The third reason would be it helps you remember the words. So it's not just about memorizing lyrics. It's that much easier when something is just melodic and you can remember it. You're just going to school, or just, driving your car, or doing the grocery shopping, and you're just, humming. You're humming to this song like, you're just basically, singing to your own self. You're not singing, to anybody. You don't have an actual audience, of course. And it helps with the context learning, because in that case you can focus on, let's say, three different singers with similar topics in their lyrics, like a breakup or heartbreak or stuff like that. So you can actually connect words. Breaking up, dumping somebody, and my heart is broken, and just connecting different vocabulary. And in that case, your vocabulary actually grows. You are actually using it without being aware. So just remember, it's good to sing it out. The next one, and majorly important reason, it helps you breathe. You have to breathe. Breathing is the essential activity of our bodies we're not aware of, and you have to breathe properly. So breathing, when you come to, I don't know, you come up to a stranger and you're really nervous, you want to ask that stranger, like, what's the direction for, I don't know, Alexandrian Library or whatever it is that you're looking for, and you simply cannot say it. Take a breath, take the second breath, and on the third breath, say your question. Basically, enunciate your question. Excuse me, sir, where is the Museum of Modern Arts? And it took you three breaths to just, pronounce or to just enunciate your question. Of course, you're not gonna really breathe it out like I did just now. I just, did it a bit funnier for you to understand what I say, what I mean. But of course, breathing helps with anxiety. It helps with your nervousness, with the feeling of, public fright when you have to hold a speech, have to give a lecture like I'm doing now. I have to focus on my breathing, and it's not from your lungs, it's from your tummy. It comes from your stomach. So practice breathing through your stomach. In that case, you are going to become better at pronunciation in English. Reason number 5, repetition, and again, repetition helps you master pronunciation. So repeating the same sound, phoneme, then a morpheme, the, the, dog, digging, digging your own grave, or something like that, connecting a phrase and a morpheme into larger constructs, into a sentence, into a text, into a story. So in that case, mastering pronunciation comes that much faster through repetition. The sixth reason would be, of course, it's the source of ready-made vocabulary. It's such a resource for phrases, idioms, I don't know, different lexes, basically, grammar, as well, as I'm going to show you in the last 3 songs at the end. So how you can practice your grammar through listening, and practicing, of course, via singing. So in that case, it goes to the 7th reason. I think this is the last reason. It sharpens your listening comprehension, the pace of your speech, and the rhythm, because every song has a rhythm, and you have to follow that rhythm. And you have to also imitate that rhythm. You have to find it in your own self. So in that case, you can, again, practice the slow pace of your speech, or the faster pace when you get excited, like I do. Oh, hello, this is my assistant. So that's her again. Okay, and listening skills, of course, you have plenty of gap fill exercises online. You can just put one song, especially if you do rap songs, like in Eminem's case. Eminem is one of the most famous rappers ever. So, of course, I grew up in the 90s, and rap and hip hop was like, it put tremendous impact on our lives. And I basically owe half of my vocabulary to hip hop, actually, believe it or not. Okay, and in this case, I would like to just play the first song. It's by Alanis Morissette, one Canadian cantautor and author of her songs, and just amazing singer. She has a song called Ironic, and in this case, you can practice the listening of ed sound in the past simple form. And of course, connected speech. I will pause it and just bring your attention to the connected speech part. So let's give it a listen. I will play the song now. Just I will skip the intro. Just a moment.
An old man.
Oh, sorry.
98. He won the lottery and died the next day. It's a black fly in your Chardonnay. It's a death row pardon, 2 minutes too late. And isn't it ironic? Don't you think?
Before she moves on, she says in this part, let me just pause it here. When we talk about connected speech and something that is a typicality of North American pronunciation and dialect, it's the flapped T. I was asked about flapped T, and in certain cases, T can sound as D. So in this case, for example, 2 minutes too late. 2 starts with T, with the letter T and the sound T. It cannot be flapped in this case. Whenever, in the majority of cases, when the new word starts with the T, it's typically pronounced as T. Too late. Going to, of course. So in that case, it starts with T. It cannot be a flapped T. I will also find some examples later. So in this case, she softens pardon. It's basically a soft D, but she also just a little, like she hides it, death row pardon. She kind of hides it and connects with R and O, pardon. Okay, and death, of course, with the soft D in death. Okay, she moves on. Let me just skip to the next part. Oh, sorry, it's the running timer.
It's the good advice that you just didn't take. And who would have thought it figures?
Again, let's stop here. Connected speech in would have. In the most cases of Native American speakers, Native English speakers actually, but mostly Americans do this, they typically mishear it and misspell it as would have, because it's pronounced would have, and they typically mishear it, and they, of course, it's typicality because they don't know the spelling. So in that case, they spell it would have, but it's not. It's would have, would have thought. So it's basically like standard. It's not exactly standard. It's more of a slang typicality when it comes to, just how would I say in simple words? It's basically slang. It goes with would have, but in this case, she is pronouncing it, so that it becomes a part of the lyrics. So like the incorrect part becomes the standard, so to say, because in songs everything is allowed. It's the art, of course. So in art, everything is, of course, nothing is forbidden, as you know. So in that case, she deviates from the standard. Yes, I was looking for that word, deviate. She deviates and makes it a standard in her lyrics. Okay, let's go to the next part. Just a moment. Let's go. Okay, that was ironic. The next one, it's actually a mix of the three songs. I will play them, and I have my list where they begin. So the first one is by one famous 90s singer, young singer, Avril Lavigne. She was a Canadian singer. She still is, but she's not popular as much. And in this case, you can notice how she uses, again, past simple form, the question form of past simple, did you? So did you, and how she connects that. But it's better for you to hear it than me actually retell it. So give it a listen.
Did you think that I was gonna give it up to you this time? Did you think that it was something I was gonna do?
Okay, so that was just the first part. And you've heard how she connects that. Did you think, did you think that I was gonna give it up to you? In this case, give it up is one nice phrasal verb. You have, again, vocabulary, guilt trip or trip me, something like that. And of course, softening the and sound of some words. Okay, let's go to the next song. The next song is again by one famous and really nice pop singer, totally different from this one, Kylie Minogue. Kylie is, I think, Australian singer, yes, and she also has a bit of Australian accent in it, but not that much, and she also has plenty of nice vocabulary, so let's give it a short listen. Okay, so in this case, I just can't get you. Get you. Okay, so she again connects this you with the previous verb get and connects it into like ch sound. Get you, like don't you, the similar with a real. So in this case, let's go to our third song for today. It's already here, Ed Sheeran's "Shape of You." You've all heard it, but it also has some similarities with the connected speech from before. Oh, just a sec. What did I do? Let's go back. No, I misclicked. Never mind, never mind. This totally happens at the wrong time. Okay.
The club isn't the best place to find a lover, so the bar is where I go. Me and my friends at the table doing shots, tripping fast, and then we talk slow. And you come over and start up a conversation with just me, and trust me, I'll give it a chance. Now take my hand, stop it, and the man on the jukebox, and then we start to dance. And now I'm singing like, girl, you know I want your love. Your love was handmade for somebody like me. Come on now, follow my lead. I may be crazy, don't mind me, say.
Okay, you all know the song, so I'll stop here. So in this case, trust, the pronunciation of ch again. So just, softening the whole thing. And in this case, I want your love. So basically, he's not saying, I want. It's not to, but I want your love. I want your love. So he connects again with the Y or basically your. So he connects the T before with your, it becomes ch sound. I want your love. And in this case, again, your love was handmade for somebody like me, somebody. So in this case, he kind of fastens to everything. So again, it's a little bit connected. Okay, so that was one. And the very last one is this one. And we're going to end with that. And then you can ask me anything you wanted to ask. This one is my absolute favorite, my favorite band of all time. Unfortunately, 3 years ago, the singer of the band took his life. And this song is just something that I'm emotionally attached to, and I was singing to the song through tears and then the laughter and everything. And I was just happy and sad at the same moment, just listening through the song. So, well, this is just like really vulnerable part of me in the song here. So let's give it a listen.
So faithless, lost under the surface. Don't know what you're expecting of me, but under the pressure of walking in your shoes, caught in the undertow, just caught in the undertow. Every step that I take is another mistake to you. Caught in the undertow, just caught in the undertow. I've become so numb, I can't feel you.
Okay, I'll stop here. So in this case, again, you can see in some cases, he mentions, to be more like me and be less like you, and something like that. Again, the T that cannot be flapped, and in some cases, again, connected speech, just learning grammar. I've been, what is he say? Something, I've becoming this, something like that. I've, again, pronunciation connected, and in some cases, he again softens the consonant. So again, the softening of the D sound under toe, we've heard in that case again, and that's basically it. Modal verbs are also present, and phrasal verbs again. So plenty of vocabulary you can just snatch from that particular song. Just basically singing it out and just writing it down, guessing the lyrics. Testing yourself. Did I hear it well? It took me, I don't know, 10 or 15 years to figure out that I was mispronouncing some of the songs, not theirs necessarily, but some other artist songs. Like I Google it up later, and I'm like, wow, was I singing it wrong the whole time? So yeah, it's a normal part, understanding that you've been wrong, that you misheard it. So that's also a normal part of learning. So just don't go hard on yourself. Okay, so that was just a little bit from me. Now it's your time to shine. So this is the end of today's lecture, my lecture. Now it's your part to discuss. So basically, the bottom line is you don't have to actually jump the stage and grab the mic and just sing karaoke whenever you can. If you're really shy, it doesn't matter. You can just, find a private corner for yourself and just, let it out. Just let it out, and you don't have to even sing that loud. It definitely helps with your throat to sing loudly, because it opens your throat and you're able to pronounce better certain sounds and just practice, and it relaxes you. It typically relaxes you so